Simon, how do you look back on that one, given you've come back from so far down and almost got there, but in the end didn't?
Yep. How do I look at it? Sorry, what was the question?
How do you, given all the drama throughout that game, how do you assess it now?
Sorry, I didn't hear it the first time. Disappointing to dig that hole for ourselves, and it's all self-inflicted. Perth were excellent, but our turnovers. When you play Perth, there's two things you cannot do under any circumstances. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't miss out on box outs. And we just repeatedly self-inflicted wounds in that first half. I think it was 12 offensive boards we'd given up at the half, and we only had 10 rebounds. So, I mean, that's disastrous for us. I mean, we've got a bit of character in the sense that we're always going to have a crack and try and bring it back, but it's just disappointing that we continue to dig these holes, and we've got to find a way around it. And it can't be sit back and say, well, we're looking forward to Gibbo coming back, and we're looking forward to Kiefer. It's got to be the guys who are suiting up, and we've just got to do better, and we've got to find that way of turning the switch on very quickly.
You made similar comments a couple of the Perth games. It's been what's going to happen, and it's taken too long to figure it out one game day. How do you fix? I mean, not going to play them again this year. But how do you fix getting the scout in people's heads so they know they don't lose their way during the game and have to be yelled at again?
It's nothing wrong with the guys and their knowledge of what's going to happen. I mean, we've played Perth 5 times. They smack you in the mouth every time. I mean, there's certain things you're getting when you play Perth. They're coming out physically. They're going to be hands all over you. That they're going to get good calls, and that you have to box out and you cannot turn the ball over. And we know that. There's no surprises there. I can't tell you. We talk about it all the time. There's nothing more I can talk to the guys about. I mean, it's just got to be an ownership on every person who enters our locker room to prevent that from happening.
Kyle, you're nodding. How do you look at it when you get 20 points down and almost win the thing? I mean, it shows that you're good enough to win it if you do everything right in the first half.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, as Simon said, it's pretty simple. For us, box outs in the first half weren't good enough. Our physicality was a little bit low. Not a little bit, was low. And second half, we turned that up. I thought at times in the second half we did a great job, but as we said, digging yourself a hole that big, especially against a great team like Perth, it's always going to be tough to get out of. So we can't have those starts against, especially the Perth Wildcats.
Mick Randall, next question.
Hey, g'day guys. One for Kyle. I'm just interested in. Obviously, it was a pretty special night for you personally. I mean, your career high, but you kind of come out at the end and you missed that last shot. How do you kind of balance the highs and lows of that emotion? I guess.
I mean, for me personally, it's win-loss for me. Like, we lost the game. I had 3 turnovers, 3 assists. I felt like I probably could have got the ball out of that pick and roll a little quicker. For me, I'm trying to think of ways like that, but, I'll embrace that moment next time it comes and look to attack it with more aggression probably.
You're on mute, Mick, if you've got another one.
Oh, sorry guys. I don't know why it went back on mute. Simon, when are you expecting Kiefer back? So you may have already addressed this. I missed the start of the presser, sorry.
No, you haven't missed anything, mate. Yeah, it's going to be a little while. That's all I know. We've been given a bit of a broad spectrum on how long it's going to be. So 3 to 6, I think, is the general gist of what we're being told. So, it's going to be a little while.
Is that games or weeks?
That's weeks, mate.
3 to 6 weeks. Wow. Okay. Just one more quickly. Can you talk a bit about Mitchell? I saw that he said that he's been having these back issues and not being able to get out of bed and things like that. Does he struggle with those on a nightly basis, or is it sort of a come and goes type thing?
No, he's okay. He had a bit of a bad week last week, but he's been training this week. That's anyone who's had a bad back knows what it's like. You struggle to sleep. Standing up hurts. Laying down hurts. Kneeling down hurts. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're in pain. And he's been great at pushing through. I didn't think we were going to have him the last couple of games, but he's butted up on game day. This week he's been okay. He's made improvements. The medical staff have put a lot of work into him to get him right. They've done a great job, and he'll be okay.
Darren from AAP, next question.
Yes, Simon. You played Perth 5 times now. I'm sure you're probably glad to see the back of them for a while. But do you think that having played such a solid kind of winning organisation this number of times early in a season, do you think that's going to accelerate kind of the growth of the group as they kind of look towards getting through the second half of the year?
For sure. They've been the benchmark for 30 years. Team I highly respect. The organisation I highly respect. Don't like them, but I respect them. I don't like them because I'm jealous of them. I want the success that they've had, and the way they come out and they're so consistent in doing the small things well is something that we can certainly learn from. We've shown when we do those things that we can compete, and when we don't, we can't. And it's for us closing the gap on our best and worst. It's you're right though. I'm sick of seeing them 5 games in the first 10, 11 games of the season's too much.
Any more questions for the guys?
I'll just grab one more quickly. I'm not even going to try and say his name, but Leafa, he gave you some good minutes tonight in obviously Sykes' absence. You've got to go deeper into that bench. And what's your projection for him? Like 4 years at college, and he's sort of coming to league. I think he's a development player. Where do you sort of see his trajectory?
No, he's going to be an NBL talent. Like all kids coming into a professional environment, there's things for him to learn, and it's not even as much on the court stuff. It's more about handling yourself off the court. He came into camp a little bit late. He came into camp a bit out of shape, and so he was behind the 8 ball from the get-go. And so many kids come into their first season in that state. So it's been a bit of a grind to get him to where he needs to be, but he's done the work. And I think the last couple of games we've seen the potential that we believe he has. And I think now he realises that, he can roll at this level. And it's just about, for him, he's learnt the lesson the hard way, that he's had to sit and he's had to watch and he's had to do the extra sessions. But he's a high-level defender. Crafty offensive player. He's going to be an NBL player for a few years to come.